Hello, everybody. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. I'm with the rise of government control. We just had another thing at Fort Stewart, Georgia today. Anyway, but we're going to talk about that. But I got to kill a little time for some people to show up. So I got an update on my channel, okay? The one I did about the alien invasion at the end of November or around in November. Anyway, it's been moved up. Now it could be October 29th because this interstellar object that's the size of Manhattan is going faster than what they expected, and their calculations had it where it was being affected by other planets' gravity on its way. Well, that don't seem to be happening. It seems to be just going through space and ignoring physics and stuff. So anyway, yeah, now it's going to be here a month earlier, so October 29th. So we might have aliens running around. I mean, the aliens from up there trick-or-treating with their kids and stuff. Okay, I believe in UFOs and stuff, but they're a little too far-fetched for me, okay? It's a little bit too hard to believe. How do they know they're hostile? Hey, J99, hello. How you doing this evening? Hey, we're going to talk about that Fort Stewart, Georgia tonight and the violence that's going on. And I'm glad you're here because like I say, I'm used to Marine Corps bases, so if Army bases are a little different when I describe how they function and stuff, you can jump in and correct me, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same anyway. But yeah, times are getting crazy. But anyway, yeah, now the UFO thing, like I say, the new date is October 29th. Okay, crazy time when people actually in this world are talking about aliens and stuff like that coming to invade. It's going to be Independence Day on Halloween this year. Okay, anyway, we got a few people showing up. So let's get on the subject. Let's talk about the violence that is on the rise in this country. Okay, we had another situation today at Fort Stewart, Georgia, where a sergeant who was administrative something, he sat behind a desk doing something, okay? Anyway, decides to take his own personal gun on base, so he must have lived off base. Because if you live on base and you have a weapon, it's got to be in the armory in the base. Okay? Hi. Hey from Maryland. Good to see everybody. But if you got your own personal weapon and you live on base, it's got to be in one of the armories on the base. Your unit armory or the base armory or whatever. There's more than one armory on a base. But since he brought his on and they say, how did he get it on there? Probably had it in his car. It's not like they sit there and search everybody's car, especially if you come on the base every day. So for him to get it on to the base, if he lived out in town, would have been no big deal, okay? But this is the thing, if everybody thought that, everybody's carrying weapons around at a military base, that's not the way it is. They have armories, even, and us guys in the infantry and stuff. We didn't run around weapons. They went in the armory. They got out when you used them, and then they got put back in the armory. It's not like it was a Wild West show out there. Now, in Israel, when I was there, I will say, those people took their weapons everywhere. Like you say, they ain't spread out, this small country, right? Go to eat lunch in a restaurant, you see some the IDF show up, and they got their weapons when they're sitting down at the tables. Oh, yeah. So it's not like that here. Yeah, on bases like that. But, and I tell you what, this is one thing. What happened there this is one thing the other side that wants this war with us vets and patriots need to realize. 5 unarmed vets took them down. See, in the military, we're trained to run at bullets, not from bullets, because the only way to get the bullets to stop coming at you is to take it out. This is why these people, these ICE protests and stuff. Once they sit there and ICE agent turns around and looks at them wrong, turns around, looks at them, they all go running the other way. I mean, how hard do you think it's going to be to beat these people? But all I got to say is the other side, these Call of Duty warriors, should take notice to that, okay? There's a big difference between an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid just before he goes to boot camp. There's a big difference between, you know, when he gets out of boot camp. Totally different mindset, okay? But, you know, and then the news media, sorry, news media, wasn't a white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, conservative, Christian, heterosexual male. Sorry, it wasn't a white guy like that. Well, you just can't get the guy you want. You know why? Because we were brought up not to do that type of stupid shit. You know, we were brought up not hating every day. We were working our asses off, being told you want to make something in this life, you got to do it yourself, not being angry. We weren't taught to hate anybody. But anyway, that's what us, you know, us white Christian heterosexual, you know, love our families, males, we were brought up not to sit there and try to destroy shit or ruin other people's lives. Boy, but the mainstream media, oh boy, they're warming up. It's a white guy. It's a white guy. Nope. What's the difference the race makes? You know, all of a sudden, you know, I guess maybe they can justify it now since it was a black guy. It's all this race shit. You know, people do bad stuff no matter what color you are. People do good stuff no matter what color you are, okay? What side do you want to pick, the good guys or the assholes? Hi from I don't even know where that is. What's even happening? Violence everywhere, sir. Okay, that's that. You know, like I say, thank God no army people got killed. But you know what? You're going to go into third division, 3rd Infantry Division was over there. You're going to go and take a gun, and he was an admin pogue. So this is the thing about service. Some people, the hardest time they have in the service is boot camp. And then some people, the easiest time they have in the service is boot camp. Okay? Believe me, there's 2 different mindsets in the military too. And this sergeant found out. But yeah, hell yeah. Run at bullets, take out the threat. Anyway, it's good to see Americans stand up. Like I say, we need to get back to the days where, what happens if you tried to hijack a plane after 9/11 again? What happened again? Oh, you got bum rushed by everybody in the cabin. You know, if the government and the people aren't going to, and the judicial system aren't going to hold these people accountable, well, then I guess it's in our hands, right? The Americans' hands to make sure that we're all safe. Make today another wonderful secret. I like that. Make today another wonderful secret. Hey, that's one Churchill did come up with. But you would have liked that one. Oh, yeah. Who said that one? Brando. Why do you need safety? Well, I don't need safety out where I live. You've watched some of my other shorts. We're kind of really safe where we're at. But, you know, people need to be able to pursue their happiness, not have to be like the Cincinnati people. I mean, the beatdown they took, and nobody helped them. That lady that was knocked unconscious had to get her own way to the hospital. Not a cop or an ambulance showed up. Are you freaking kidding me? That story is just beyond belief. That's where people act animalistic, tribal, and I mean, that was totally retarded. Thank God nobody died. But then again, if somebody would have died, it just would have been a white guy, right? Or a white gal, right? No big deal. This is the stupidity that is running this country. Where's all this violence coming from, this animalistic behavior, where people are acting so tribal and going to their most basic instincts? Okay, I don't strictly cycling. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. Yeah, today we're talking about the violence and government control. So I'll get into the government here in a little bit. But this file, like strictly cycling, he's from New York. I mean, I live out here in a county with less than 2,000 people. He's probably got 2,000 people within his 4-block radius or 10-block radius. And then with all this hatred going on, all I know is strictly cycling. Make sure you always got your 6 covered. Anyway, I love the government. Well, that's good, Pac-Man. I don't love the government. I used to work for the government. That's why I don't love the government. 8.5 million people here in New York City. Yeah, I know. I mean, it is when you go out and you interact with people of different races, is it really what they're saying on the news? We're like every black person in New York now. I mean, I told you my story about pulling over for directions in New York in the middle of the night because I couldn't find it. If I did that now, I'd probably get killed, wouldn't I? People don't want to help people out. People are looking for some way to destroy somebody. Are you a mobster? No. Was a Democrat. January 6th was the Democrats. You know, that January 6th thing. How long did it take Biden and the FBI to round up all the people involved in the insurrection of January 6th, right? Less than 100 days. Let's see, Trump. How many people have been arrested on your guys' watch so far for treason, doing mean shit to children, and stuff like that? Hey, as long as everybody's here, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up, to subscribe, and the bell notification. Help the channel grow because we need to get the word out. The last thing Americans need to have to worry about, I'm going to Starbucks to get a cup of coffee, and the next thing I'm doing is dodging bullets. My God, does anybody see what is going on in this country? Does anybody feel that something needs to be fixed? Okay, something needs to be fixed. New York City has far more dangerous in the 1970s than it is now. Well, people like, I just don't understand the hate. I don't understand why people waste energy. I mean, there's so many hours in the day. You only got time to do so much stuff. Why waste any time of your day going around trying to hate somebody? Why? Or try to create hate and discontent for somebody. Do a good deed. Put a smile on somebody's face. Go out of your way to help somebody. You know, maybe if we get an aura of good going around and, you know, positive vibes, all this hate, discontent, and my God, people will come to their senses. I mean, in this country now, people are protesting for it to be okay for people to break the law. That's crazy time. You know, I guess illegals coming here illegally isn't affecting them, right? Unless your families that your daughters get raped and murdered by them, or if you're a working man and you get your job taken from you because they got an H-1B visa worker or an illegal that took your spot, and you come home to your family and try to explain it to your wife and kids. Anyway, but the violence, like I said, I think people haven't even lost it yet. I mean, when the dollar finally collapses to nothing and we become a third world country overnight, oh my God, you know what the streets are going to look like then? Are we going to beat each other down then? Or are we going to go to D.C. and take care of the problem there? See, this is the thing. We're beating up on each other, and it's the people that are dividing us. That when you get a politician on TV that sits there and tells you you're supposed to hate your neighbor for any reason, okay, that's your enemy, okay? Your neighbor's not your enemy. He's struggling just like you are, okay, with everything that's loaded on us in society. So don't take it out on him. He's not exactly enjoying it either. He's paying taxes up the ass, all this other shit. Anyway, the violence is on the rise. Like I say, I live here in a small county of less than 2,000 people. Okay, we know everybody. Trouble is not allowed in this county. But you live in the big city, just know how to defend yourself. I mean, whatever you need. You know, one thing you should learn is to defend yourself with your hands. If you have, judo's a good thing to take. Because people like grabbing you, right? Well, judo, you learn that. You can throw them right on their ass and make mincemeat out of them. Or, you know, go traditional martial arts and stand toe-to-toe. Where you don't go down to the ground unless you have to. By the way, bear spray, anything. But the thing is, make sure you are paying attention to everything that's going on around you. You see somebody that's wearing an oversized coat on a hot day, what do? I mean, this is the thing. If you know something's going to go down, do you try to stop it? I mean, somebody like me, yeah, I would try to stop it. But somebody who isn't trained or got the skills to, do they try to stop it? Do you follow the guy? Yeah, that was the thing in the Manhattan thing, too. That was a crazy thing, right? Shoots the cop, the security guard, the major target, the lady in there, and then shoots some lady that's trying to get to a phone, and then kills himself. That's a strange story. Okay? Like I say, I don't think it had anything to do with the NFL. Seems kind of strange that would be something with the NFL. But that's just part of the violence. Violence. I don't know why this is all happening. God help us when school starts this year. Things could get a little crazy then, too. Just, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm glad I don't have kids in school now. My grandkids, they're in school. I mean, just not the world I grew up in anymore. It's not safe anymore. And, you know, like I say, if you're in the big city, pay attention, okay? Now, we're going to get into the reason a lot of this is. Government control, okay? What has the welfare system done to this country? Let's see, it's made people think of entitlements, made people lazy, made people stupid, and made people to the point where I've seen videos where people think it's the taxpayer's job to pay for these kids and their food and their life. Are you kidding me? And this is half the reason we're having this hate and discontent, the disproportion. See, the health and humans, you know, the entitlement program, the welfare program, takes away the incentive for somebody to succeed on their own. And then they're sitting there watching other people that refuse to go on government, and they're succeeding in stuff, and they get angry. And then they sit there and think that's the division. When no, you're all have the equal opportunity to succeed in this world. Everybody does. But if you decide that you don't want to be as ambitious as the other guy, and you're going to take the easy route out, well, then don't be jealous when they got their boat and they have their nice house and stuff. And because you're definitely not jealous when they're working 60 hours a week. You're not jealous of that. You're just jealous of the rewards they get for that. But this is the beat down in Cincinnati. I mean, my God. I mean, thank God that lady lived. And that GoFundMe, yeah, you're darn right she needs to be taken care of. She's fucked up. They say people were drinking too much. There was a racial slur said, but nobody knew who said it or who was said to. It doesn't matter. That's a reason to almost kill somebody. Did we think it was all a joke or a bad, really screwed up thing to kill somebody for their tennis shoes? And since they don't know who said the racial slur or who it was said to, I'm sure we know who said it, because if it would have been the white people, that'd be all over the news. You know, I know assholes of every race. I know people of every race that would cut your goddamn throat. And I know people from every race that are just as wholesome and good as, you know, the little old neighbor lady that bakes cookies for the children. Well, I wonder what it has to do with upbringing, being told that, like, you know, you got brought up being spanked, okay, being required to be responsible, make something of themselves, go to school every day. Anyway, get a baby mama. I don't need. I got enough kids. No way. At 58 years old, if I got a girlfriend and she told me she was pregnant, oh my God, that would be torturous. No, I like my freedom. I like being able to do what I want and stuff. But anyway, so this government control, and then the government lying. I mean, these people are beating up each other in the street, shooting people down, but nobody cares about the children that are disappearing off the streets all over the world to be used as toys to powerful and rich people. I mean, that should be the number one issue. I mean, it doesn't matter what race the kids are, they're all being taken. This is, you know, this is definitely something they don't care. What creed, color, race, or they'll take the kids. Nobody seems to care about that. I just don't understand. If you got kids and stuff, it bothers me so bad that Trump will not release the list and start arresting people. Anyway, hey, if you're here, if you hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, bell notification, help this channel, support this channel, I appreciate it. Help it grow. So maybe one day we can all live in peace again. You know, and this Marine that's had enough don't have to sit here on YouTube and sit there and, you know, I want to go back to the days where all we had to worry about was Monica Lewinsky. Remember, I mean, if you weren't alive during those days, boy, that was the number one news, Monica Lewinsky. That was the worst thing that was happening in the world. And that was really the worst thing that was happening in the world. Boy, have we come a long ways. You know, but this crazy time, this government, you know, this new big beautiful bill they passed, and everybody's just, oh, it's so great, it's so great. It's nothing but control. Now that it had AI in there, and the states aren't even allowed to regulate their own AI. All the spending and stuff. You know, this digital currency they want to come out. I tell people, you got a digital currency, guess what? The government just became the primary signature on your bank account. You're the secondary. Government, you got to have permission from the government. Any purchase you make has to be authorized by the government. More control. And the thing is, we're paying for all this. God, I'm so tired of paying taxes for stuff. None of this shit I agree with. Wars. Oh, let's not forget, Russia's deadline's coming closer and closer all the time. We got nuclear stuff, all this shit. That'll be the thing that will be in the news here in a couple days again. So we can forget about what's in the news tomorrow. Everything that's happening right now has been happening since back in the day. Differences we have. See, human beings through millennial are all the same. This is why empires rise and fall. Technology has changed, like I said, social media now. But people, the core human being has been the same since we lived in caves. Except back then they were trying to achieve better living conditions, so they learned stuff. You know, so, but anyway, how they treated people, how they interact, their evilness, their feelings are all the same. You know, and now there's just more ways to screw people over. I mean, somebody who's sitting halfway around the world by their computer can sit there and steal from your bank account. He don't even have to be by you. The difference is now we can connect to someone across the world in seconds. Yeah, the world has become really small, extremely small. I mean, you can live anywhere in the world pretty much, and if you have a family emergency, even if you lived out in the middle of Alaska, and be there within 24, 48 hours. That's great. But all this surveillance and stuff, this face recognition, I mean, all these, the big city, you're being watched from the time, like Strictly Cycling, they got you sitting there as you're riding your cycle, your bike, all the way through town, all the way through the city. What kind of freedom is that? I mean, like I say, we all made jokes when I was growing up about bugs, the FBI bugging your house. Now we got your phone's always listening to you. If you got a modern home, well, your TV's listening to you and watching you. And now they got appliances and lamps and everything. I mean, they just want to know everything about you. Pretty soon there's going to be a sensor on your toilet to find out when you're there, to find out you're not using too much water. If you want a king, go back to England and leave my America alone. Who wants a freaking king? I'm a goddamn jarhead. I love our constitutional republic, and I will defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Sorry, I believe in July 4th, no King's Day. Anyway, that's okay. J99, you're on it. I tell you what, you're on it. I'm loving this live show. Appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, let's get the word out. Share these videos. You go to my channel and check out my shorts. Share the shorts. Some of them you might like, some of them you may not like. But they all get you to thinking. That's the purpose of my shorts. Okay? That's what I want to do. Get people thinking. Instead of thinking about violence, thinking about, oh my God, that guy's got a better car than me. That person may be making more money than me, and that's nothing. Stop breaking it down to money. Try to find a reason instead of the government trying to tell you. See, let me tell you something. In boot camp, in the military, we join the military, they teach you to hate. That's what all the chants. Would you agree with me, J99? All the chants you do when you're singing and stuff. They're all about killing the enemy, hating the enemy, right? That's kind of what is happening. I always said the pandemic was like a soft boot camp for everybody. And now they're just increasing it. The hate, the hate, the hate. Would you agree, J99? Yes, they teach you to hate. And now, see, it's okay for the service because you're teaching a group of people there to kill people and blow shit up, okay? And people to support them people. But, you know, civilians shouldn't be going through this because they, you know, one thing is we're given the discipline to control ourselves during these times. Obviously, in Cincinnati, there were a few people that weren't able to control their animalistic behaviors. I always wondered what would have happened, you know, if some guy, a good Samaritan, would have came up there and tried to help, and he would have started getting beat on and started shooting the hell out of him. I wonder how the story would have went. You know, I'm a white guy. I don't do anything wrong to anybody. I treat everybody with respect. I do good deeds for people of all creeds, colors, whatever, just to people because they're human beings. It doesn't matter. I believe in the human race, okay? But there's some people that are just so hung up on the white race and the black race, and we were slaves. No, you weren't slaves. Nobody today is a slave. Our government's trying to make us that way. But tell me, what African American here was a slave or an indentured servant? I mean, I love to see all these black people wearing name brand clothes, dressed real nice car and stuff, saying they need reparations because their ancestors were slaves. You know what your ancestors would tell you? You guys are free. Enjoy it. Live it up. Don't waste it with wanting something that's pointless. Your reparations is your pursuit of happiness and be able to sit there and live a great life. Oh, I tell you what, no African Americans, just Americans, unless they are an immigrant. BLM, burn, loot, and murder, you mean? That's what I think BLM stands for, burn, loot, and murder, because I think all lives matter. What do you think of that? Trump 2028, huh? Well, yeah, like I say, you want Trump 2028, you know who his running mate's going to be? Barack Obama. So, if you want your Trump 2028 and you want to break the Constitution and you want your democracy, so, in Constitutional Republic, Trump can't run. So if you guys want to break the rules, he'll be going against Barack Obama. I hope all you mega Republicans will like losing to Barack Obama. There's a reason why this country flowed so good for as long as it did. Because the politicians, on most part, obeyed the rules. And, the government was fearful of the people. Now it's no longer that way. And we're suffering, okay? And it seems like the average guy, the average American, always has to suffer the most. A white guy saying how black folks feel. Are you a human being? Are you telling me that a black man has different feelings than a white man? Are you saying we're genetically different, that we don't feel the same things? The only difference is some people can control their emotions and some people can't. See, that thing, divide. You're white. You can't think like me. What? I've worked with a lot of different races in my job, a lot of different people from a lot of different countries, and I never saw any of us that really thought any different, acted any different. We worked hard together. We went out together and had fun together. Excuse me. And you know what? These guys were just like me. They felt just like me. They loved their kids and their wives just like I did. What exactly does a black man feel differently than a white man? Okay? I feel oppression. Yes, I feel the government trying to oppress us. Do you feel that, sir? Or do you feel the white man trying to oppress you because that's what your politicians telling you? Slavery ended 160 years ago. Boy, like that short I made. If all you have is a short-term memory, you'll never fix your long-term problems. You always have long-term problems. I mean, it just proves another thing. The only thing passed down from generation to generation successfully isn't money, isn't memories, it's the hate. The hate one generation has is always passed down successfully to the next generation. And we always get this stupid shit going on. I mean, what did Martin Luther King go through all that stuff for? I mean, just, he's sitting in his grave, laying in his grave right now, be like, what the hell did we go through all that shit for? We actually made a difference. And these people went backwards because they thought that instead of freedom, they deserved a free ride. See, this is the thing. If you want a free ride from the government, you're not free. If you want true freedom and independence, you're not going to have a free ride from the government. But then you don't care. A free man like Titanic, Jack, I got the air in my lungs, okay? Everything else, you got the air in your lungs that God gives you to breathe. Everything else that you achieve, you got to do it on your own. Nobody else should be doing it for you. Okay? Especially you go to school and you get a good education and stuff. People helping you out. All right. J99, you in there? I have to do something here real quick. Everybody just hold on. But, yeah, things are getting fucking stupid. I mean, all they want us to do is hate each other. Find a reason to hate us. Find a reason to divide us. I mean, we even get divided on who believes there was a list that don't exist and who's people that remember what they heard from people that say they saw the list that don't exist. I mean, crazy time. Crazy time. I did a week-long episode of human beings going insane. And they sure the hell are. Sister Richard, hey. I tell you what, I sure appreciate everybody being here. This is the thing. Everybody needs to realize we're on the sinking Titanic together. And the government's, whoo, and they got the band playing, trying to think everything's fine. Well, the captain, everybody, the heads up, no, the shit's going crazy. And then when the people all realize what's going on and panic, they're going to be off in their little boats making sure they're safe. Go running off to their bunkers and stuff. We need to come together as people, as Americans. And remember the gift we were given. And we shouldn't have to feel bad about it in our country. Other countries can go and follow our example and do the same thing we did, instead of coming here and trying to ruin our country. Go ahead and do it. Anyway, I'm just tired of the violence. It's getting hard to watch. Government control. I mean, like I say, I feel oppression too. I know what it feels like. I have just the same feelings as a black man does. I mean, I just always love seeing black men that live a lot better than I do. I live a humble life. And I love my life. But I'll say somebody, like I had somebody on my chat say, well, I got more subscribers. Do you think it's about where you're at? I mean, but, people that are living the good life and stuff, that have more materialistic things than me, and they still think I got it better because of my skin color. I mean, really? You don't want to know what white privilege is for me? Out there when it's 105, sweating my ass off working. Out there when it's 40 below and snowing and the wind blowing, working. Up at 5 o'clock in the morning outside working. Yeah, that's my white privilege, and not making a lot of money doing it. I always sat there and said when I was inseminating turkeys at 4 o'clock in the morning, I said, boy, I wish we had some people to enjoy our white privilege with us. I mean, inseminating turkeys, they had that on that job, Dirtiest Jobs. That was an episode on Dirtiest Jobs. That was my white privilege, but see, I like doing that. I like doing it because nobody else likes doing it. And you do jobs like that, I'm around alpha males, guys who are tough, can handle this stuff, and can work side by side with you. And we have plenty of job security. Let's just say I work in recession resistance jobs. I have lots of skills. I can do lots of things. But I tend to stick with the manual labor type stuff. Like I say, there can be no AI replacing what I can do. So anyway. Sure spew a lot of hate for someone who wants only... No, the truth. The truth is not hate. If I tell you something that's the truth, and you don't like what I say, and you say it's hate speech, no, it's the truth. Okay? Okay. People that I don't like, no, I don't like them. But I'm not going to sit there, oh, you're giving out hate speech. You sound so violent. I mean, say that, right? What do you think a tavern sounded like in like Philadelphia or New York back in the 1770s? What do you think it sounded like? Probably something you couldn't handle. And all these people, like when times are going to get tough and crazy. I mean, if you're sensed like I make a video out in the wind, I can't handle that video. The wind's bothering me. The wind's bothering you? You can't handle that? What are you guys going to do when things get tough? Real tough. Where's your wife? I don't have a wife. I am been divorced. I'm staying divorced. I got my children. I got my grandchildren. And, just, I'm a humble guy. I'm a simple man with simple pleasures. My dream is to live in a dugout next to a stream with my horses and my dogs. That's my retirement plan. I have a ringer washer. What woman's going to put up with that? Okay? Not many. And I'm not changing for a woman. Okay? Maybe out there in the woods somewhere I'll meet somebody, that wants to cook me supper twice a year. But there's too many problems in this world for me to focus on right now. Like I say, I am focused on trying to get the message out. Like I say, I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. Okay? I don't care what color you are, what race you are, what creed you are. If you're an American, okay, you're going to be hurting just trying to hurt all of us, not just me. It's just some people haven't figured that out yet. We got a democracy, right? Now we got a Republican democracy in. So the mega Republicans are all happy supporting their candidate, and the Democrats feel like they're victims. They're the sheep, and we got the mega Republicans are the wolves. Okay? Wow. Since there's no list, and this is my prediction that he just handed the House and Senate to the Democrats in the midterms because of this, because Republicans aren't going to come out and vote. And the next presidential election, the Democrats are going to win because there's no list. Okay? So, anyway. Must fail for the divide and conquer strategy. Yeah. Divide and conquer. I mean, the people that are full of hate, like the people that beat up these white people in Cincinnati, what's it going to take for you to drop that hate? I mean, these white people are suffering and dealing with the same shit you are. They're feeling the same anxiety and that you are. Beating the hell out of them. Tell me, the minute you got done beating the hell out of them, you tell me all your problems were better now? All of a sudden your finances were better? You didn't consider yourself a slave who needed reparations no more? Is that what happened? I don't fucking think so. Okay? Your problems are still the same, but now you got more problems because now the cops are finally going to do something about it. Anyway, like I say, we solve our problems there in D.C. Okay? All the shit they're doing in D.C., anytime a politician says they're helping you, no. Like all that money they gave people during the pandemic, right? And they pretty much had to pay back double what they got. It was basically a money-making scheme for the government, paying people to stay home. Ooh, I don't even know. Like I say, start making a journal. We live in historic times, and in 30 or 40 years, when your grandkids are sitting on your lap, you can pull out your journals when they start asking you questions. How did things get so crazy? And you can read your own words. No matter what your view on it is, okay? Write it down. Because we don't want these fools in charge being in charge of writing history. Okay? Remember when we fought a war so that we wouldn't have a king? Look how far we've fallen. Yeah. But like I say, the Constitution passed by 2 votes. And the next day, the people that voted against the Constitution started undermining it. Okay? And this is how far what they've accomplished in 249 years. And trying to destroy the Constitution. And now we just got all of them doing it. And the American people are like, what? Hey, there's enough money in my bank account. I'm good. Hey, Donald Trump, as long as my bank account says it's good, you're on the right path. Even though that money in your bank account is basically worthless because of these policies going deeper in debt, deeper in debt. I mean, you could sit there and get 20% interest on your money in the bank, and it's still you're going to lose money every year. Hope you enjoy your evening, Mr. Wolf. Caught your live. Hey, not a problem, security. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I am enjoying my evening. I'm having a good live chat tonight. I appreciate you being here. Hey, security. I'm going to make you a moderator. Appreciate you being here. Because you with my channel, let's see, now my channel does the old AC wave thing, right? And I was at my trough, and now I'm headed up. And, tonight, thousands of people on my live stream. I appreciate it. So I need the moderators and stuff. Like I say, we don't all have to agree on everything. But we all need to look at what's right, what's wrong in this world. And there's a lot of people in charge that are doing a lot of wrong stuff. And to our kids. I mean, we're not protecting our kids. No cop and ambulance shows up for the Cincinnati lady. She's got to take herself to the hospital. What kind of country do we live in? Where basically, if you're a certain color, you can do what the hell ever you want. Because 160 years ago, your ancestors were slaves. But like I say, I always say something about that. My ancestors were from the North. My ancestors were from Minnesota. My ancestors fought in the Civil War, I guess if it was about slavery, freeing the slaves. Do I get any reparations for that? No, I get treated like I'm a slave owner prick because I'm a white guy. How many white guys died in the Civil War freeing the slaves? How many? Maybe the black people need to take that into consideration when they're getting all pissed off at white people. I mean, to hate somebody because of the color they are. The reason I can't understand that is because I can't lower my intelligence level to that level to understand why they say it's being tribal or whatever. Okay, in today's world, tribal, where I can talk to anybody in the world from any country at any time. You know, we should be coming together, realize we all belong to the human race, and start living prosperous life. Wouldn't it be nice to have 100 years of prosperity in the world? Where, you know how on a business they have those so many days since the last accident. We could have so many days since the last person was killed in anger on the planet. Wouldn't that be great to have that? Or just in this country. Or this country that didn't cause it because of our weapons or our foreign policy caused somebody else to have to feel it. We all mostly live in segregated neighborhoods. Yeah, we do. But it's not completely segregated. We cannot let people sit there and tell you what your future is and everything because of your skin color. You can't let people do that. You live in America. You have the same rights I do. And I have the same rights you do. Okay? You want to succeed in life? Go succeed. The thing is, it's not given to you overnight. Some people work at it for many, many years to succeed. It's not this thing where, oh, I saw it on my phone. Let me order it up. It'll be here tomorrow. You know, all these young kids want what their grandparents have now. You know, at 20 years old. Really? You know, a lot of these kids don't realize, all of us people that raise kids realize, you don't really start making money until your kids are out of the house, right? That's when the remodeling starts. That's when you get new furniture. That's when you get your new car. That's when your bank account starts growing and shit. And then you have something 20 years later to retire on. But these kids want it all now. Okay, give it to you all now. What are you going to have in 20 years? When you're used to living high on the hog, and all of a sudden you're left to a welfare pole living on $300 of groceries a month. Nobody wants to work for anything these days. You know, I remember when I was growing up and wanting something, and I'd work all summer long, you know, back when a VCR was expensive and you got paid $2.50 an hour. I mean, can you imagine making $20 a day, $25 a day if you put in a 10-hour day, sweating your ass off all day? Yeah. So, you know, money's not that important to me. You know, I don't have debt. If I want something, I save up the money and I pay cash for it. Works a lot better. Nobody has control over you. I don't make enough money to sit there and pay anybody interest. And no lending institutions can do some predatory lending on me and say, you need to have it today. We'll help you get it. Crazy time. No credit cards. This is what cash is for. If you don't have it, don't buy it. That's the mentality we had when we were growing up. But anyway, are the Epstein files? Well, they were on Pam Blondie's desk, but I don't know. I think they got thrown away in the garbage can, and then Kash Patel found them in a burn bag in a secured room. Though, you know where they're at? Netanyahu picked them up when he was at the White House that Wednesday and Thursday. He picked them up and took them back to Israel. And then Trump came out that Friday and said, the list does not exist. So Israel's got them. So anyway, this guy speaks truth. Well, I appreciate it. Well, this I'll tell you what, I'm not afraid to say shit. I get people on my channel that says, oh, you got to watch what you say. You may have a visit from the FBI or something. Well, then it just proves I'm right. If this Marine has to be afraid of what I say in this fucking country, never going to fucking happen. Is never going to happen. And a lot of these other channels will bow down, pander. Screw that. People in America want to hear the truth. They want somebody to speak it, like Alex Jones. Yeah, I can get like him too. Just I won't cry on it. because this stuff will drive you nuts. All I know is if one of my kids, my grandkids disappear, I will destroy and blow up every rock I look under to find them. If the government don't want to do it, like I say, this is the thing, people. We kind of fell into this mindset in this country that people have responsibilities and all you have to do is make a call. No, let me tell you something. You are responsible for yourself. If shit goes down, you're responsible. If we have law enforcement and government that won't enforce the laws of this country, then it's up to the American citizen to do it. That's just the way it is. I mean, we have responsibilities as Americans too. It's what you can do for your country. Remember all that, Democrats? If they are not going to sit there and enforce the laws or the Constitution, then it's up to the American people to do it. And you have every authority to do it. Just like if we knew, if evidence came out and we knew who was on the list and law enforcement didn't want to do nothing about it, good. Then the American citizens will. And since they don't want to take them to their judicial courts, we'll have our own judicial courts, okay? Anyway, it's time to take our country back. That's what it's coming down to. The violence in this country, give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, right? After Cincinnati, after this, after Michigan, the Walmart, Michigan, after Manhattan, we're going to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, right? We don't even have peace in our own country. And another insane thing that was said that I don't quite understand. Bombing Iran, giving whatever Ukraine needs to Ukraine. But don't worry, you're telling Putin, hey, if you don't come to the peace table here real quick and let me dictate the terms of this. Anyway, this is just a crazy world we live in. They haven't quite conquered the American people yet. Okay, Hitler had to conquer Germany first before he could conquer the rest of the world. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that's the plan for this country, for the politicians, but they have to conquer us first. All right? Be nice if we got in a position where we'd show them that that's not going to happen. Put the fear of God in our politicians a little bit. That would be awesome. Oh, I got a racist comment. Who am I racist against? Who am I racist against? I tell you what, they expect me to shut up. I mean, is anybody, like I say, this is my channel, buddy. I got social media. I can get on here and say what I want. And if you were face to face with me, I'd say it to your face. I'm not afraid to say shit. If you don't want to hear the truth, don't come to this channel and don't come to my house. I don't have time for lies no more. I wasn't allowed to lie when I was growing up. All I got told was the truth. I got told nobody cares about your feelings. Nobody is afraid to hurt my feelings or tell me the truth, so I'm not afraid to do the same damn thing back. And I'm sorry if some people, no, I'm not sorry. If it upsets you, that's too damn bad. Grow the fuck up. Okay, see, this is what happened when I was like 5 and 6 up to 10. I was growing the fuck up. Instead of at 30 and 40, living in mama's basement, still trying to figure out how to wash my own clothes. Like I say, this is why I hang out and do manual labor, male, alpha male type work, because I hang out with alpha males, all right? People that, you know, are working their ass off for their family and are just pissed off at the situation as I am. And like I say, all you people that are softies and stuff, look at what happened at Fort Stewart. 5 unarmed our soldiers took down one armed soldier. What do you think we're going to do to you guys when we have guns in our hands? You know, like I say, it would be nice to solve this problem without violence. If we all came together and basically gave our the Magna Carta moment at the end of a sword to the government and say this is the final straw, either shake the hell up. But see, this is the thing. They release the lists that don't exist. Well, there goes pretty much all of DC, all the Fortune 500 companies CEO. I mean, but it needs to happen. A lot of people would be woke up. Yeah, it would maybe throw the world into the dark ages for a little bit, but it'll be a lot easier to recover from the dark ages if all these absolute evil, corrupt, extremely bad people are eliminated. Okay? And the phoenix can rise from the ashes and not be corrupt as soon as it gets out of it. Save socialists, free Bernie. Where's Bernie at? You know, this is the thing, you socialists. You can go to another country and be a socialist just fine. Being a socialist is against our constitutional republic. It cannot happen. According to our constitution is about handcuffing the government and giving all the power to the people. A communist regime is not like that at all. Okay. If you're not happy in this country, then move out. If you think the government makes everything fair, you need the government to make everything fair, well, that just shows you we're not all equal. Because the government would determine the fairness. Then go ahead and move there. Nobody's stopping you. Then you can sit there and make a hole for a foreigner that wants to come here legally and take your spot and become an American citizen the right way. Okay, I've known people that came over here on work visas and, you know, they became naturalized citizens. You know, it's not like I don't know, especially being in agriculture, you meet a lot of different people from other countries because Americans don't want to pick tomatoes or anything no more. I don't mind it. I even go out fencing. I'll pick rock in the field. I'm not above any job. I'm definitely not above starving. Looks like angry. We already have socialism. Only it's for the super wealthy. And example is tax cut. See, this is the thing. If we went to a straight federal sales tax, no IRS, no government interference with your wages at all, okay, we wouldn't have to worry about all these loopholes and tax cuts and shit. Because you're paying, if they were to a straight 10% sales tax, federal sales tax on everything you bought, and then they can do their tariff thing to raise money, that's fair. Then all this stupid stuff is taken care of. And like I say, if you work in a big company, boom, they don't have to deal with the IRS no more. How much money can that company save not having to deal with the IRS no more? Okay, all the tax, that 7.5% Social Security tax that they have to pay, they could give you a 15% raise overnight, and then you keep all your money, your whole paycheck. You could easily pay for that 10% sales tax. Easily. With money left in your pocket. Now that would benefit you and me. And if I was president, that is one thing I would fucking do the first day. The IRS would be gone. Immediately. Along with the Federal Reserve, the FBI, and the president's cabinet would get cut down to 4 departments. Attorney General, Department of Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, and Secretary of War. And why I want it to go be Secretary of War again? Because when we're not at war, then we don't need a budget of $1 trillion+ going to the Defense Department. We're supposed to be at peace, right? We should have a peacetime defense budget, right? Just saying. But yeah. But we'll never see them days again. You know, it's hard wanting the old days back, knowing they're never going to come back. Ever. I mean, we're pretty much, if we had a war to reinstate the Constitution, like I say, it only passed by 2 votes, you'd have a bunch of people in there changing it. That's why you can't go to a convention of states, because the Constitution will get trashed and we'll get what they call the Communist Manifesto. Anyway. Oh, I've been going on for an hour already tonight. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, if you want to support the channel, hit that thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification, because I'm out here doing whatever I can. I'm not on here for money. I'm not on here for fame. I'm here to tell the government you're fucking assholes, and this Marine is done with it. And I understand. I see the forest through the trees. And I don't like what I see. And as soon as other Americans start seeing it, we all get on the same bandwagon. And all this hate and discontent and division is done. And we have a leader to follow. Great live, Tom. Appreciate you being here. But I'm not going to stop. One day I'd love to be on YouTube and make people laugh. I want to start up like a red-green skit show. I want to make people laugh. I tell you what, if I was a stand-up comedian, I wouldn't care about being politically correct. I'd have people rolling on their living room floor if I was a comedian with all this crazy shit that's going on. Okay? But don't hear no comedians doing it. Anyway. You need a haircut. Oh, I know. I cut my own hair. And yeah, I know I need a haircut when I'm riding horse and when I'm running and stuff, and my cowboy hat tries to come off and stuff. I know I need a haircut. See, when I cut it short enough on the sides, it's like Velcro. And I don't care if there's 100-mile-an-hour wind I'm running against, that cowboy hat ain't gonna come off. So, yeah, I know I need a haircut. Thank you for pointing that out. But see, that's another way where I save money. I cut my own hair. But then again, being a Marine, a high and tight isn't that hard. And I used to cut my own hair when I was on ship. And if I could do it on a ship that's rocking back and forth, standing in front of a mirror is real easy. Reagan smoked a blunt every night. I don't know about that. But I am a Reagan Marine. I went in when Ronald Reagan was in office. And I'm pretty proud of that. And anyway, different time then. Went in when Reagan was in office, was in the Marine Corps for 8 years, and got out when Clinton was in office. Now tell me, that was really an eye-opener for me. Like I said, I've seen all this shit come for a long time. Anyway, I am going to get out of here tonight. Appreciate everybody being here. Come back tomorrow. I don't give the subject out what's going to be tomorrow because I haven't seen the news for tomorrow yet. It could all be different. Hopefully, like I say, everybody that wants to sit there and create these wars, remember how you felt on 9/11 that morning when you're watching the news and stuff after the planes went into the Pentagon in Pennsylvania? How are you going to feel when the news comes on and they're talking about Russia bombing American cities? Anyway, we need peace in this world. We need people to start getting the fuck along. Because the more we fight, the more the government's going to sit there and stranglehold us, put the leash on even tighter on us, put the collar on tighter, and they're going to punish all Americans. Remember, in America now, if a criminal does something, we got to punish all Americans so no American who would never do that can make sure they never do it. Control, control, control. Anyway, Appreciate everybody being here, and I will be back tomorrow night. Everybody have a great, great evening, and stay safe in the big city. Stay safe. It's getting to be very dangerous times out there. And, you know, you're your first responder. That's all I can say. And since somebody's going to be, anyway, just stay safe. That's all I got for this evening. This is Tom with the Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.